friends, welcome back to VMwareNSXCloud. In my previous videos, I have covered configuration of virtual router for users with ESXi as well as VMware Workstation. Now we have all pillars of DC ready, such as compute, storage and network. Next thing in line is infrastructure services such as Active Directory, DNS and NTP. These services are essential for any data center for centralized management. But before we start, I would like to thank you all for subscribing. And if you have not subscribed yet, I would request you to hit the subscribe button now to receive notification about all step-by-step videos. To provide Active Directory, DNS and NTP services to our nested data center, we will install Microsoft's Windows Server. Post-installation, we will configure Active Directory, DNS, and by default, this domain controller will become NTP. I have downloaded Windows Server Evaluation ISO. You can find the link for download in my post, Home Lab Step-by-Step Part 5 Infrastructure Services on my website, VMwareNSXCloud.com. We will deploy the server in Nested Management Port Group. In order to deploy server, we will click on Create and Register VM. We will select the first option, Create New Virtual Machine. We will provide a name of the server for ESXi inventory, ESXi compatibility, guest OS family, and guest OS version. In my case, I have installed Server 2019. Then you can select the data store to save virtual machine files, and finally you define CPU, memory, and port group to connect the network. Now power on the virtual machine and open VMRC console, as we cannot mount ISO from web console. Mount Microsoft Windows Server ISO and restart the server to boot from disk. Booted from ISO, please follow the setup wizard and start installation of Windows Server. I have fast forwarded the video here, however in real world it would take some time. Once installation is complete, it will reboot and it will ask you to provide password for local administrator. Assign a strong administrator password and log into the server. After login, first step we will perform is to assign management IP to the server. Next we correct time and time zone for the server. Now we will rename the server and then we'll reboot it. As we would need shared storage for our nested DC, we will install iSCSi target server role as well along with Active Directory and DNS. We will first install these roles and then we will promote this server as a domain controller. It would be a new domain in the new forest. Once Active Directory installation is complete, it will reboot the server and now we will need to log in with the domain credentials. Wait for the domain controller to boot and then log in with domain admin credentials. It will be same password you gave for local administrator of this server. Now that same administrator became domain administrator. Just be aware that there is no local administrator on a domain controller. It's time now we log into our DC with our domain administrator credentials. Now we will open users and computer just to validate that the Active Directory is installed correctly. We should be able to see all the default containers which gets created when we install Active Directory. We will add records in DNS, configure disks in iSCSi target server in our future videos. Today we will only install these services. After successful validation, we will install remaining roles, DHCP and iSCSi target server. We will follow installation wizard where we will choose these services and let the installation get complete. Once installation is complete, we will get an option to configure DHCP server. However, we will configure that when we would need DHCP services in our lab. I hope you liked this video. If you have any feedback, I would request you to please post it in the comment section. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe now so that you do not miss any step-by-step videos.